We got into used iPhone business, but we put total quality and we have a small factory.
Yeah.
And we sell iPhones as iPhones, but we are focusing on customized products.
Yes.
Now, customized products are two parts. One is, just designing a product and all that, what we do. The other one is customer can decide what kind of design they want. Good morning, everyone. You're welcome to our series of podcasts. Today's podcast has various parts of it, and we'll try and cover as much as possible. The first part of the podcast, Mr. Matthew.
Yeah. So the first part, we'll talk about the brand evolution of Ginni Rich as a brand, and how did Ginni Rich come up in the last few years.
Correct. Ginni Rich, if you look at the word, Ginni, I think, if I'm not wrong, it's a Parsi word or it's an Arabic word, but Ginni means gold coin.
Okay.
So when we started the company along with my daughters, they were the co-founders. We were thinking that gold should come, and all the stakeholders. That is not only the shareholders; it is the customers, the employees. Everyone should benefit. So we said Ginni Rich means.
Okay.
The gold coin, rich, that should be, that's what we should achieve, and everyone should prosper.
A very unique name indeed.
Yes. Indeed, people always ask me what it means, and I have to explain all the time. So the whole thing started sometime in 2015. And that time we were distributing Samsung mobile phones and accessories.
Okay.
And the things were very different at that point of time in UAE. It was more, I would say, export-driven economy, and our focus was more on wholesaling, doing business internationally, even selling to the wholesalers.
Yes.
And everything was fine, and we had a very small setup. We used to do very, very large turnover.
Okay.
But with very few people, because we had no office. Office was there, but we had no
showrooms.
what do you call it? Storage.
Warehousing.
Or vans, or
Okay.
stores were not.
Yes.
Of course, in last 10, 11 years, Dubai evolved a lot.
Correct.
And from a wholesaler kind of a thing, it started becoming more a in-country thing, or more consumption-oriented. The malls started coming all over the place. Metro came. The population increased.
Yeah.
And the government started changing the rules, which were less export driven, more inward driven. So they came out with 10-year visa. They started giving visa if you have the property.
Yes.
And of course they encouraged more and more people to invest in this country or to stay in this country. So imagine we used to have 2 to 3 years visa. So that means the horizon of a person was only 2 years or 3 years.
Yes.
And everyone used to look to the home country, that one day I have to go back.
Right.
But in 10, 11 years, UAE government changed almost everything.
Yes.
And that is how we realized that, we should now change our focus, keeping UAE government's view.
Okay.
And the developments happening in this region. And
sorry to cut you, but if you were successful in one part of the business, which is a B2B,
correct.
there must have been some trigger, which or something that would have triggered you to change into a B2C kind of a.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
So various factors. One of the factor is it even goes back when we started from, and you'll be surprised because things take time to take into effect. So this is the UAE government portion.
Correct.
But there was a much bigger wave.
Okay.
So that is called Arab Spring. So what happened around 2008 or 9? This region used to be, very vibrant, very prosperous, and Dubai was well placed because it was in the middle of Africa, Europe,
Yeah.
and say China.
Yes.
So it was somewhere in center of every place.
Hmm.
So as a result, lot of trade used to happen. So the goods will come because Dubai even today is a very strong logistic hub.
Correct.
So the goods will come to Dubai, and from there they will go to Algeria, Libya, Syria, Egypt, everywhere. Now that wave happened that point of time, and as a result, regimes changed.
Hmm.
There was a lot of political instability, which is even today,
Yeah.
and rather it is at the lowest level today.
Correct.
So as a result, for example, Saudi used to be one of the biggest markets way back 7-8 years. Now little bit Arab Spring.
Hmm.
Because of Arab Spring, this region decided that they have to give more to their people. They have to diversify their economy. Now it is partly Arab Spring and partly other things happening politically.
Correct.
So as a result, VAT came in. Now Saudi actually exports to Dubai rather than importing.
Yeah.
So a lot of factors happened. It started even earlier than when we started, but the effects we see now.
Yes.
And certain things happened over the last 10, 11 years.
Okay.
And one of the reason is UAE government when they started looking inward.
Yes.
So most of the markets where we used to do business 10, 12 years back have more or less, dried up. So that is one part of it. Second thing, the world economy is changing a lot, and thanks to Mr. Trump, it has further, gone into a tailspin.
Yeah.
Because our business was more export, so it had currency play, it had geopolitical play and all that. So around 2 years back, we started thinking that let's look more inwards, but maintain our outward business,
Okay.
but cut down on it because it doesn't, it's not that good
Yeah.
as what it used to be. So
Understood.
this was a pivot for us.
Okay.
And as a result, we started first looking at the retail landscape
Yeah.
because with our strength, what we have built in terms of knowledge, in terms of the savings or the money in the company,
Yeah.
we decided that it's high time that we come out in open. We have a strong brand name in export community or in trading community,
Yes.
but we are very, very less known in B2C business or customer facing business. So the first thing we thought is you should be physical seen,
Yes.
and that was the time we decided that we will get into retail because nothing can be more seen into than having shops.
Shops only. Yeah.
So as a result, we have 4 outlets in not A malls, and I'll give reason for that, but the malls which are well known or which are very, which were very popular, and at very strategic locations. Like in Dubai, we are present in Dhera. Dhera means we are in Bania Square. We are at Gold Soup Metro Station.
Yeah.
We are at Reef Mall, and soon to be opened in Silicon Oasis. That is a Lulu Mall.
Mall. Yes.
And of course, we are in Sharjah.
Correct.
So that became the face for the company.
Yeah.
But also we realized that online business is emerging very fast. In fact, Noon and Amazon are growing much, much faster than what actual business is happening in UAE. So we decided to go online also.
Okay.
So this is how we have evolved so far.
All right.
And going forward, not only in terms of channel, we also realize that we should have our own products. So what we've done is besides selling the known brands like Samsung and Sony, we also got into our own brand. So we realized that renewed products have a good market
Yes.
if they are supported with good quality and a known brand.
Yes.
So we got into used iPhone business, but we put total quality and we have a small factory.
Yeah.
And we sell iPhones as iPhones, but powered or done by Ginni Rich.
Ginni Rich.
Also, what we have done is we are focusing on customized products.
Yes.
Now, customized products are two parts. One is just designing a product and all that what we do. The other one is customer can decide what kind of design they want.
Okay.
And this all is under Ginni Rich branding.
All right.
So in last 2 years we have changed the complete focus, and we are now moving more towards omni-channel. So omni-channel means the retail, the wholesale, which we have been doing and where we are very strong, and online.
So customized and you said renewed are like two of your pillars.
Yes.
But I've also seen a lot of focus on pricing, which is you kind of almost guaranteeing that you are the lowest prices.
Correct. So it's a very good observation. So basically, see various factors into it. One of the things in my journey in this country for last 20 years, I realized that you have two portions of economy here. One is for what Dubai was known. And Dubai was known for tax-free regime, very cheap prices. So anyone who will come from wherever he was in the world, he will not even blink his eye and like to buy whether it is electronics or perfumes or whatever it was, because they were sure there is no taxation. And that's how Dubai duty-free is one of the most famous thing in the world.
Yes.
However, in last 10-12 years, UAE is divided into two parts. One is, of course, we have that price thing, but the malls have come up. And the third element which has happened is VAT, which is now we have some tax in this country. Now, tax, Dhara still operates low cost. Many of the people, I'm not sure if they are paying the VAT, and they have that same mentality of keeping the margins low and selling at a very competitive price. On the other side, malls are very high profile, very high cost. They sell bundles, they'll give this thing, that thing free, and naturally they are expensive. Luckily, our genes or DNA has been wholesale.
Yes.
And we are used to work on very, very thin margins. So we kept this thing in mind that eventually a customer, the biggest value you can give to a customer is very transparent product. That means if someone wants to buy a phone or a certain brand of a phone, or they want to buy a tablet, or a certain brand of a tablet, should be given only that. Not confuse him or try to give him something which he doesn't want, and try to hide the margins there. So we have decided that our USP and genuinely USP would be lowest price. And for that, we have hired the services of a company which is AI based. And what they do is they scan the platforms such as Amazon, Noon, Carrefour, Dulu twice a week. And they give us what prices they are giving. And since we are distributors of Samsung and we are very big in wholesale business, our cost prices are the lowest. So on top of it, what we have done is our shops are relatively small compared to the retailers in electronics,
Yeah.
and they are at places where the rent is not so high.
Correct.
So we are passing everything. Plus, we are keeping an eye that our prices are lowest compared to all our competitors, including not only shop competitors like Sharab, DG or Carrefour,
Yeah.
but even Amazon.
Yes.
So this is our this is not what we are saying. This is what we are doing.
True.
And we want to continue that way because
Yeah.
we have no intentions of keeping big margins or hide the margins with some other product.
Yes.
So and it's working. People are appreciating
Yeah.
it, and genuinely you can check any of our stores or our platform. Our prices are the lowest.
All right. But is there any rationale for having only three major brands in your store like Apple, Samsung, and Xiaomi? Because
Yes.
many other retailers offer a gambit of products.
Yes. So see, this all culminates in the DNA of the company.
Okay.
The DNA is keep the cost low and pass it to the customer, do higher volumes.
Okay.
So mobile industry has consolidated. It's now a mature industry. It is not no more growing at 10%, 15%. Year after year, it grows 1%, 0.5%. Sometimes it's flat. Three brands have emerged very strong.
Okay.
In fact, between Apple, Samsung, and Xiaomi, the market share is almost 70%.
Correct.
So any person who's looking for mobile, when we have these three brands,
Yeah.
it caters to almost 70% of the population.
Yes.
Number two, what happens is with this, the logistics and the space and everything becomes easier. Not only easier, it becomes cost friendly.
Correct.
So if you keep a wide range, you need to have a big store, you need to have more people, you
Yes.
need to advertise a lot. So that adds to the cost. Moreover, we have adopted a model whereby we don't take money from the brands. All the thing what we are doing, generally we pass to the customer. So that means we don't want to sell something which customer doesn't want.
Understood.
So many times what happens is you will see some brand which is very highly advertised, or you push so much, and many times it confuses the customer.
Yeah.
So we have kept it very simple.
Yes.
Whatever is popular, and see, all these three brands are unique by themselves. Apple is of course known for its premiumness and the software system, iOS system, and Samsung is leader in Android system.
Yes.
And they have their own ecosystem.
Correct.
And it is said that people normally don't change brand so often now because of the ecosystem.
Ecosystem. Yeah.
It's very easy to change from Samsung to Samsung because you don't have to do much and people are used to it.
Correct.
Xiaomi, on the other hand, is very unique. They say it is a poor man's Apple's, cheaper version of Apple.
Apple. Yeah.
And people love it. Many parts of the world, Xiaomi is the number one or number two.
Yes.
And of course, this place it's number three.
Yeah.
So that's the idea, to stick to lesser brand, pass all the saving to the customer, trying to offer customer what they normally ask for, rather than pushing something
which they don't need.
which actually is not what they want.
Yes.
So this is the story behind keeping it simple.
So
Yes.
that probably ends the part one of this series.
Thank you, everyone. Of course, very soon we'll be back with part two. Thanks a lot.